Antonius Block, a knight on his return home from battle, plays chess with death, seeking answers regarding life and the afterlife. Mia and Joff, two travelling performers with child, aim to perform for an audience during the plague. Johns, Block's squire, offers stoic wisdom regarding death while also poorly treating the mute woman he saves from attempted rape, illustrating a contrasting behaviour. As each of these characters gradually travel together, it becomes clearer that the inevitability of death is near. This is Ingmar Bergman's The Seventh Seal, a classic film and one of Bergman's most recognisable works. The Seventh Seal has themes of death. The film is set during the Middle Ages, the time of the Black Death. The afterlife, flagellators believe they will be salvaged through self-punishment, welcomed into heaven for their perseverance through suffering, and religious doubt. Antonius Block is often questioning the existence of God and whether there is an afterlife, especially during a scene when he watches a young woman being burned at the stake, accused of witchcraft. This makes The Seventh Seal a critical evaluation on the merits of spirituality. With all the suffering in the world and no evidence to be found regarding a blissful afterlife, what then motivates one's faith? If there is silence in heaven, then is God silent, if there is a God? When considering Ingmar Bergman's upbringing, this aspect of religious doubt is understandable. Ingmar Bergman grew up within a strict religious household. His father was a Lutheran priest who became the royal chaplain to the King of Sweden at the time, Gustav V. A strict conservative parent, Bergman's father would punish him for minor problems such as urinating himself, a natural occurrence with small children. The punishment was often to be locked in a dark closet. Gaining this understanding of Bergman's challenging upbringing, it makes sense why Bergman would later direct a film which asks powerful philosophical questions. For example, does God truly exist? And if they are an all-powerful deity, then why do people suffer? With Bergman's difficult childhood comes the questioning of faith. In his autobiography, The Magic Lantern, Ingmar Bergman, discussing the religious iconography which influences his film, wrote that, "I devoted my interest to the church's mysterious world of low arches, thick walls, the smell of eternity, the coloured sunlight quivering above, the strangest vegetation of medieval paintings and carved figures on ceilings and walls. There was everything that one's imagination could desire: angels, saints, dragons, prophets, devils, humans." With a questioning curiosity in regards to the existence of God and an afterlife. In this manner, Bergman himself is very much like Antonius Block in The Seventh Seal. Ingmar Bergman clearly still had a fascination for religious iconography, the architecture of churches, and theological artwork, a respectful appreciation for religious aesthetics, balanced with a challenging confrontational cinematic discussion on the existence of God, the afterlife, and the significance of death, makes The Seventh Seal an aesthetically beautiful film with a theologically difficult conversation at its centre. Questioning the existence of God is not the only aspect to make The Seventh Seal uncomfortable viewing for a conservative society. The film's tone is often sombre, focusing on the inevitability of death and how the end, looming ever closer, affects people. With the Black Death at the backdrop of The Seventh Seal, the viewer is confronted with corpses of lost men who intended to return home, judgmental authority which considers witchcraft a reasonable possibility due to a lack of understanding outside of religious teachings, a light-hearted musical performance aiming to bring a shimmer of light onto these grim circumstances is interrupted by self-flagellation and a sermon of despair. Men resort to robbing corpses of any valuables, tempted by murder and rape. The world of The Seventh Seal is an ugly one, and despite light moments of humour, such as when death cuts down a tree as an actor in its branches attempts to reason with death, even these moments reinforce the truth that death is inevitable. It is a force that cannot be reasoned with, one that cannot forget. If it is time for us to die, then we shall die. With this inevitability looming and ever present due to the plague, the characters within The Seventh Seal often have an urgency, a desperation, a need to escape, to never settle for too long in a single place, and to always keep keep moving. Death remains inevitable, an unsettling or comforting truth depending on one's perspective of death. No matter the perspective, it is universally understood that we all die. If one were to doubt the existence of an afterlife similarly to Antonius Bloch, then death as nothingness may be a frightening prospect. When Joff and Mia are spared from death's grasp during the film's conclusion, and as Joff watches their companions dance away with death into the afterlife via a vision, we as viewers know that Joff and Mia's time, like our own, will come where they and we dance the dance of death. In conclusion, Ingmar Bergman's The Seventh Seal is a reflection on faith and death. Due to Bergman's own religious upbringing, appreciation of religious iconography and his own self-doubts regarding faith, The Seventh Seal reflects this. It is a film that forces the viewer to confront their own belief in faith, if they have a faith, and question what it is exactly that motivates one's dedication to it. If suffering exists, then why doesn't an almighty deity end it? Is God simply silent? If there is a silent God, is there even a God? The Seventh Seal encourages difficult conversations for those dedicated to religion, but when suffering perseveres throughout humanity, these questions are essential.